hi, Mark. I'm embarrassed by how many takes this has taken. Anywho, Wind Chill is this film right here, and it's a horror film. Came out in 2007. It was directed by Gregory Jacobs, and it stars Emily Blunt and Ashton Holmes. The general synopsis of the film is that two young adults go into the mountains. They're trying to take a shortcut. They're on their way to Delaware. They're going home for the holidays from college, and they get stuck. They end up crashing off the road, and they get stuck in the snow. It's deep snow, obviously, because they're in the mountains and it's around Christmas time. And they slowly begin to realize that this stretch of road that they crashed on is haunted. Now, first of all, guys, I'm going to acknowledge something. Alright? I fucking hate the way my hair looks right now. Okay? I don't know if it's the lighting. I don't know what it is. Jesus Christ, I don't like it. Oh, that's a little better, honestly. This video has taken so many fucking tries just getting the lighting right, and I understand the lighting still isn't great, but that is the best I'm going to be able to do for you guys. Believe you me, I tried and tried. This is the best I got. Okay, look, I even shaved for the occasion. That's a rarity. Alright, that's a fucking rarity. Trimmed up the old mustache. I'm looking fresh as fuck. Now, if only my hair didn't look like it cracked out monkeys. Let's see, what's a more fitting thing, like I don't know, honestly. I don't know where I was going with that. Cracked out weasel. I think cracked out weasel fits me pretty well. Like obese cracked out weasel. I think so. So, I talked about in my last video, which was the Let the Right One In review, that I just bought this film, Wind Chill, and that I wanted to check it out and that I might review it. This does take place during Christmas time, during the holidays, during the winter time, so fits perfectly. And yeah, this is a perfect one for me to review. Now, I actually enjoyed this film quite a bit. First of all, when I went into this movie, I actually didn't know it had Emily Blunt in it. And as I was watching the movie, I didn't know it was Emily Blunt. Maybe I suck at recognizing her face. Like, I know who Emily Blunt is. That's the chick from A Quiet Place, right? That's the blonde chick from A Quiet Place. Maybe I also suck at, like, knowing Emily Blunt movies. Because, oh, well, I guess she's also in that movie, Live, Die, Repeat, or whatever the other 600 titles it has. I didn't see that one. So, I know her as the mother from A Quiet Place. And I didn't recognize her in this film. She's good in the film. Both of the main actors who are stuck in this situation together are actually both rather good. Something I was actually kind of impressed with this movie is that they're actually characters, guys. Like, they actually wrote them to be people, which is a crazy crazy concept. Like, they aren't just shitty caricatures. Yeah, no, it's actually wild because the movie started out and I hated her character. I hated Emily Blunt's character. Which, by the way, they don't really have names in the film. If they did, I missed them entirely, but even in the credits, they actually credit Emily Blunt as girl, and they credit Ashton Holmes as guy. So, I don't think they had names in the movie at all. But, which is really ironic because I'm praising them for actually making them like human beings. But I mean, they are. I really hated her character though when the film started because she was just kind of a bitch. She was just kind of a bitch for the sake of being a bitch. was like, let's not do this the whole movie. Like, I don't like her already. And then the the guy, Ashton Holmes' character, he started having like weird character traits. You start finding out that he's kind of stalkerish towards her, and that he kind of orchestrated this ride, because at the beginning you think that it's just kind of coincidence that she ended up in his car. You thought he was going to Delaware anyway. Turns out he was kind of stalkerish, and he kind of orchestrated it to where she would get in the car with him and go to Delaware just because he liked her and he wanted to talk to her. And so you start thinking, this guy's creepy. You're like, man, she sucks, and he's creepy. Like, he's stalkerish and she's bitchy. Awesome. These are the people that I want to spend the whole movie with. That's great. That's awesome. Lo and behold, that's not all they had to their character, which is pretty sick. They actually had other traits than stalkerish, creepy and bitchy. I hate to say that I was impressed by it. I was impressed by it because it's outside of the normal, which is shitty. That shouldn't be outside of the normal for people to be complex characters. But in this movie, like, these are complex human beings. They aren't just, it's not black and white where this guy's the bad guy and she's the innocent victim, or, oh, well, she's a bitch and he's a creep. And they aren't just these one things. They are actual characters. And that was nice to see in this horror movie, this random horror movie that I knew nothing about going in. I was actually really surprised and pleased with the characters. This movie actually turned out being pretty creepy too, which I shouldn't say that it's not normal for me to be creeped out by a movie. It's not normal for me to be creeped out by a movie to this extent. This film actually drew me one time. It caught me so off guard that it actually made me jump. Now, I don't normally praise jump scares. That's not really something I do. If I do, it's a quick little, oh yeah, that was a jump scare. But the thing about this jump scare is that the reason I'm praising it, it's not because of the jump scare. It's because I was so invested in the film that my guard wasn't up. I wasn't thinking, all right, well, here comes the jump scare. Like, that is how your brain works when you're watching, like, an Annabelle or The Nun. When you're watching these pretty generic, shitty Conjuring spin-offs, basically, but modern horror films, a lot of the time you're just, all right, where's the next jump scare? Let's keep them rolling. This movie isn't like that, and that's really cool. This movie uses some really creepy visuals to get under your skin, actually, with the ghosts in it. These ghosts, a lot of them are frozen, obviously, because they're saying the wind chill is supposed to be 30 below, so it's freezing cold. But, like, some of these corpses look super, like, almost waterlogged, but, like, not really. Like, one of the corpses, there's one that kind of shambles by a couple of times, and he's got, like, a coat on, and his feet are wired together. He looked really creepy. He looked almost waterlogged and really nasty. And I think that looks great. Sometimes a couple of the corpses do look a little iffy. Like, there were two high school kid ghosts, and they just kind of had cut up faces, and it's like, oh, well, that's super generic ghost movie. That's what you come to expect when you watch ghost movies. That's not anything new. It is what it is. But for the most part, the ghosts and all the effects were really creepy, and the atmosphere of this film was really good. That being said, I did I did take issue with kind of how the characters acted or how the actors acted. Maybe it was an issue with the direction. I don't know. I wasn't there. Um, they didn't act very cold for a lot of the movie, and that I had an issue with. Like, the place looked very cold, but the actors didn't seem very cold. That kind of broke the ruined my immersion just a little bit, and that's a shame, because other than that, it's really a bitter cold looking. That brings me to a kind of silly thing that happens in the film, or rather, that's like a common thing in the movie. So there is this one ghost. He is the main bad ghost, and for some reason he has like magical ice powers, which sounds really stupid. I'm aware of how dumb that sounds, but it's not as dumb as it sounds. It's not like he's going sim sim malabim and zapping people with icicles. It's nothing like that. It's just that he touches you and you freeze. The spot that he touches you with freezes, and then another ghost, you touch him and it burns. It didn't make any sense. There's no real through line of who burns and who's cold and why they're that way. I don't think there was anything to suggest that the one ghost burned to death, although there is something to suggest that the other ghost burns to death, the one that freezes people. To my knowledge, she didn't even burn to death in winter, though. So why is he just able to freeze people? I didn't get that. A lot of the freezing effects with him, where he would like touch someone and they'd get frozen, were kind of dopey looking. There's one point where a guy takes a swing at him with an object, and it smacks into the side of his face, and it like disorients the other side of his face, and that looked stupid. That I'm pretty. I was gonna say I'm pretty certain that CGI. That was 100% CGI, and that was bad looking CGI. Not good stuff. That was not good stuff. But most of it looked really good. And then there was one more thing that looked a little iffy, and it was it was actually the ghost that I thought was the creepiest, the one that looked kind of waterlogged and really nasty and gross. He just kind of ploops up an eel or a snake at one point. It was really short. It was a bill, and it just blop onto the ground, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. Why did he do that? That doesn't make sense with anything that happened in the movie. That just happened because you wanted to be creepy, movie. And it wasn't creepy because it took me out of it. I was like, why did... I was more curious than I was creepy. I was like, what the fuck? So, yeah, that's not the greatest. On top of that, there were some stupid decisions that these characters made in this movie. I don't normally give characters too much shit for their decision making, but I mean, they heard on the radio, or at least the girl did, that the wind chill was supposed to get to -30 overnight, and they're stuck in this ditch, and every time they open up the car, they're leaving the door open. Okay, so I don't know if you guys know this, but if you're trying to keep the heat in an area, it's a really good idea to keep the friggin' doors closed. I know, that's a revolutionary idea. I'm pretty sure I just broke new ground with that shit. But you're supposed to keep the doors closed. All of the places closed. And I understand that, like, there is a part on the door. It's like the window doesn't go all the way up. Duct tape it up. Duct tape it up. Insulate it with a scarf or something. You can figure something out with that. But there's no excuse to keep the door open. That was just stupid. That was a terrible decision. I understand it didn't really affect the movie in any way. It just aggravated me. And then one of the characters sustains considerable injuries, and he just doesn't tell the other character. And I'm like, maybe it would have been useful, like telling that person that you sustained those injuries, don't you think? Like, I don't know. I think I would personally tell someone if I was bleeding internally. Like, that might be something you want to mention to the person you're with so they know that it's urgent, that we can't just sit around and do nothing. Now, I know sitting around doing nothing is one of my favorite things too, but I feel like if I was bleeding internally, it might be a bit of a motivator to get up and actually try to find a way out of the situation instead of just try to wait this thing out, which is what they were doing a majority of the film, is just trying to wait this thing out till dawn. Why they thought it would be okay at dawn, I don't know. Apparently they were right. Horror movie logic, I guess. And eventually dawn does come. Not gonna really spoil how the movie ends, what happens. What I will say is the ending made very little sense. It's not that the ending was super complex or anything, it's just that there was a reveal that happened in the end that I was like, but like geographically, no. Like, geographically, no. That's not there. You couldn't have. That's not how that works. That's because that was over there, and you're saying that you go up there and like turn a little bit, and that thing is there, and it's not over there. It's up and then a little over there, not like a mile and a half that way. That was stupid. That was stupid. I will say it didn't bother me a ton. It's just geographically, that's not how that works. And I'm saying geographically because I don't know how else to put that. Just without spoiling anything. Just that thing is not there. I get that thing is definitely not there. That thing is at the other place that I thought that thing was at. And you're trying to tell me that the thing was at the other place that the thing is definitely not at because the thing is at the other place that I thought the thing was at. Try following that. Nerds. But yeah, overall this movie was a really enjoyable experience. I think it runs a little long. It might not run long, honestly. It might just be kind of a slower film, and it is kind of a slower film. Yeah, not a long movie whatsoever. It is 91 minutes, guys. So it is a bit of a slower film. There's a lot of downtime, a lot of sitting around in the crashed car, going, oh my god, what are we gonna do? So, I mean, that wasn't great. And like I said, this movie has issues. It had little things that bugged me. But overall, I thought this movie was actually really good. It's really serviceable. I liked it a lot. I'm gonna go with like a 7. I think I'm gonna do a 7 out of 10. I was thinking about a 6.5. I'm like, I think I can throw the extra 0.5. I think it's a 7. I think it's a 7. So anyway, guys, if you have any recommendations for any films for me to watch, any films for me to review, any films you would like to see me review, drop them in the comment section down below. I will do that. I'll do it. And if not, and if you don't like looking at my face, but you watch my videos anyway, more power to you, boo-boo. Go ahead and hate watch my videos. I love it. Until next time, guys. I'll see you later. I don't know that made sense. Who gives a shit?